Good evening, and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the Mayor and Council for July 16th, 2018. We will begin tonight's meeting with the reading of the Open Public Meetings Act. I hereby announce a request that such be included in the minutes of this meeting, that notice of the time, date, and place of the meeting has been prominently posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, mailed to the Times, the Star Ledger, the Courier News, the Alternative Press by January 10th, 2018, filed with the Borough Clerk, and mailed to any person requesting the same in accordance of the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. I would ask those that are in the audience to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We would ask that you remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. We'll start this evening off with a roll call, please, Mrs. McGovern.
Anthony Carter.
Present.
Tom Krantz.
Here.
Russell Mitchell. Aaron McElroy Walker. Kevin Mitchell.
Here.
Nelson Hanwha.
Here.
Mary Moore.
Present. I now would like to make a motion for the review and approval of minutes of several meetings that the Mayor and Council have had. The first was at our last regular scheduled meeting of June 18th, 2018. We held two special meetings, one on June 25th and July 2nd, and the minutes of our agenda meeting on July 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Not sure.
Okay. I'll now go over to the podium and we will have one presentation, which is our wonderful Volunteer of the Month.
Come on.
So yes, please come up. So good evening.
Good evening.
And good evening to those who are watching at home this evening and for those that are here. We start off each of our monthly meetings where we shed some attention and a spotlight on a resident who we believe has gone above and beyond the call of duty with their service and volunteerism to the borough of Fanwood. And tonight it is really my honor to be focusing some attention on a volunteer who has been within our Recreation Commission since 2012. Welcome, Joanne Boudries has been a member of the Recreation Commission, as I said, since 2012. Since she has joined, she has helped in the planning and the running of many of our annual events that the Recreation Commission hosts every year, such as the Easter egg hunt, the training wheel toss, the summer party in the park, the Fanwood 5K, the Halloween costume contest, the holiday celebration at the train station. And whenever Joanne's mother is in town, Joanne makes sure that she recruits to help her out also, making volunteer really a Fanwood family affair. As a Recreation Commissioner, Joanne has played an important role in the planning of many of the facility improvements within our parks, and she has done that over the last several years. She came to us spurred by her passion for tennis, and Joanna has provided especially help advice during the recent renovations of the LeGrand Park tennis courts and has played a real role in where the future of Forest Road Park goes. I've asked my colleague Anthony Carter to join me here because Anthony came from the Recreation Commission before joining us up on council and had a real chance to spend some time with Joanna.
Thank you. So, everything the mayor just said is true. All right, and Joanne and I have had the privilege of serving together from the beginning. I believe her mother should actually be up here accepting her Volunteer of the Month award. But really, at the same time I was championing the skateboard park, Joanna was championing the tennis court renovation. And for as much as I knew I could depend on her, She also knew that I would rile her up a little bit and that she could depend on me. So she's been diligent and she's been faithful, and I don't think there's anyone more deserving of this Volunteer of the Month than Joanna. Thank you.
So this is a print of the historic train station, which we would like to give to all of our volunteers because we believe it represents what really is the best of Fanwood, and that we hope that you hang it in your house and know that we really do appreciate and thank you for everything that you have done and will continue to do.
Thank you so much.
Here, we'll get this picture.
Actually, it's funny that I got a picture of the train station, and many years have I worked in New York City and relied on that train. And thankfully, when I decided that I needed a lifestyle change and stop working in the city, I joined the rec committee. So it's sort of a strange situation getting a picture of that when that was the pivotal point of my change and having time and being able to help out with the community. Very passionate about sports, about exercise, super passionate about tennis. So yes, I did drive a lot with the LeGrand tennis courts. I had a lot of particulars that needed to be met for those courts. And I'm happy to be a member of this community, happy to always help where I can and when I can. A lot of the rec committee events are 100% based on volunteers, and we're a small committee, so we always seek more. So the more people that can join the committee would be helpful for the town and would be helpful for the future of recreation for the kids and the families here. So thank you so much for honoring me. It has been my pleasure throughout the years. I'll continue to serve as I can when I can. And I'm hoping that we can grow the committee even bigger and grow recreation even better.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Moving on under the presentation of communications and referral, I would like to move both pieces of correspondence as noted to note and file.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now go to our standing committee reports, and we'll start with Councilman Krantz.
Thank you, Mayor. Start with the June tax collectors report. Let's see. Tax collections for the month of June, $128,472.29 for a cumulative total so far for the year of basically $16.4 million.
Okay.
The only other thing, we've got some ordinances to, I'm sorry, so
Need a
I need a
motion?
motion to move that to approve it, please.
So,
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
Just for you. A number of budget items coming up a little bit later, but there's been a delay. We posted on our website and in our email blast that tax bills will be a little late this year because we were waiting for first the state to approve its budget, which they finally did, and now just recently the reshuffling of the school aid apparently was completed last year, and we had to wait and see how much more or less our school district was getting, and apparently we're getting a little bit more, right? 12%, a 12% increase, I think it was altogether.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, a little over 12%.
Right, so that's better than what some districts are getting, which is nothing or less. So I guess the tax bills will be adjusted accordingly. That's all I have for now until we get to
Sure.
till new business.
Thank you. Councilman Carter, anything you'd like to share with us?
Okay, public safety. Our systems are in the middle of an upgrade, so we will make the report available shortly.
Okay. Councilman Molinar?
Okay. Fire department had 27 calls during the month and 2 drills and no injuries. They did have a good human, kind of an animal life story. I don't know if you know about this. Anyone here? So on June 30th, the fire department was dispatched to King Street to assist the police with an animal in distress. A deer had become lodged between 2 fence posts and was stuck and appeared dehydrated due to the 95-degree temperature. So the jaws of life was used to free the deer, which ran off to the woods. So the jaws of life actually saved a life. It happened to be a deer.
Bambi.
So our fire department our volunteers in the fire department are involved with many things, and one of them sometimes are saving deers from dying between fence posts. And they had no injuries, so that's always a good thing for the month, so thank you, Chief, for sending that in to me. The Public Works, and on top of everything else they've done, they completed the June brush pickup. They did pothole repairs on various streets. Rush Eagle's not here to hear it, but I will say it anyway. Some of the streets, but not including all: Oakwood Court, Birchwood Terrace, Linda Place, Forest Road Park Access Path, Sheelan's Crossing Bridge, Hetfield Avenue, for a total of 4 tons of asphalt. Not 16 tons, but 4 tons. Some people in the audience know that reference, but some don't. Okay, so Public Works, also, if you see that the banner across Martine Avenue, that the borough, last year, did we get that up? The new
poles.
The new poles?
Yeah, about a year.
About a year ago, we had to take down the existing poles because they were swinging way too much and hitting electric lines, and it was a little unsafe. So your tax dollars helped to get new poles put in there, and then we could advertise our great events. And that's so when that banner goes up, that's Public Works that puts that up, and they put up the banner for Fan Jam, which was a great event. If you weren't there, it was a good event. I was there and spent a lot of time there. They also prepared the park for Fan Jam. They also, our Public Works has to do an annual storm sewer inspection and cleaning program. That's required by NJDEP. So they began that as well this month. And that's it for me tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Ugle is not present. Councilwoman Barker is not present. Councilwoman Mitchell?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I don't have too much to say tonight. For the rescue squad, for May, there were 62 calls, 17 for sick people, 11 falls, motor vehicles, accidents or trauma 9, cardiac 2, fire rehab 1, and standby 1. Most of their patients were taken to Overlook. 3 went to Trinity, 1 to JFK, and 1 to University Hospital. And I don't have anything new to report on the library, but I would just like to mention something because I hear different things all over town. One is that we're going to tear the library down and put a whole new library up. Some of it we're going to add on. Some of which we're going to do nothing. I just, you've been hearing me say this for a couple of years now, but nothing's really been decided yet as to what we are doing with the library. We know it needs mega repairs, which is estimated to probably cost $1 million plus. But it depends on the state aid that we get from the library fund. So to those of you who think that we're going to be spending mega millions on the library, please. It depends on what we get in state aid and what we decide to do as to how much money we will be spending, if any, as taxpayers. So just calm down a little bit, please.
I'm calm.
Good, I'm glad. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so a couple updates on our Fanwood Development and Business update. Liz Jeffries, who's our Economic Development Coordinator, was here about 2 weeks ago and gave a update. And so I'd like to share it tonight since we are at the official council meeting. Station Square at Fanwood, which is bordering on LeGrand and 2nd, is going to be 35 townhomes, rentals, with 7 affordable units on site. Building 1 has gone up and is framed out, and they should be closing up the walls very shortly. Buildings 2 and 3 are out of the ground as well. They really expect to have 18 of the units renting at the fourth quarter of 2018, and the rest of that project coming on in 2019. It's a really nice addition to Fanwood because it actually introduces a housing stock that we don't have, which is townhomes, multi-level townhomes, 2-car internal garages with a choice of 2 or 3 bedrooms. Frank's Auto Body, as you probably drive by in town and see, that they are actually investing in their property and really expanding and putting in a really nice addition. And the work is continuing as we speak, and that should be completed shortly. I cut a ribbon on a new business that came into town recently, right on right on Martine Avenue. Do You Knit, a really wonderful store that has opened up, and the woman who owns that has a tremendous following, so that's going to it's a luxury yarn boutique that I did the ribbon cutting on June 23rd. There is a new tenant that will be coming into the former Rice-In space. We know that the permits have been pulled for the reconstruction, so we look forward to that. And we also know that Edward Jones, which is the financial institution, has leased space in Fanwood Crossing 1, and that's the space that is actually located next to the bagel store. There's an empty storefront right there. The Summer Fan Jam, as Councilman Molinar said, was held on Sunday, July 8th at LeGrand Park, and that was just a home run, bringing in thousands of people into our community for a full day of music and food trucks. And our business roundtables are continuing with our local business community. There's a lot of good investment going on. The market for the downtown is strong, which is always an indication of what people look at when they come into communities, is to see. The Fanwood rental market, housing market, and commercial space is very strong as we speak. So, Antonius, you're here. You want to give us your report? We'll do our engineering report.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a couple projects that are currently out to bid. That's Madison Avenue. Also Patterson Road is out to bid. We're expecting to be able to award those projects in the August council meeting. American Water has completed all their improvements through the town, at least the big projects that they've been working on. Elizabethtown Gas, they're almost complete with the northeast quadrant of town project. They expect to be able to complete all the service connections next week and kill the line, the existing gas line, by the end of the month. That means they would be able to pave those roads in August, which is it's a good goal to have with all schools in that neighborhood. The other project that they're working on is the North Avenue project. They've replaced the whole main there. They expect to finish the service relocations on North by the middle of August, which will allow us to pave North Avenue in September.
The whole length?
Yes, so we have a contractor ready to go for the east side of North Avenue, east of Martine, and we need to prepare plans and go out to bid, which should be pretty quick, for the west portion of the project. So, in summary, yeah, the whole road will be paved in September. And that's really what's going on right now.
Okay. Any questions?
Real quick, the gas company improvements, so project includes Forest Road, did I see?
Yeah, one of the roads in the northeast quadrant, that's the one that they're almost done with. That is Forest Road. I don't have my list with me, but
I think that's
Forest
curb to
Road
curb.
is curb to curb from the Scotch Plains border to
Pleasant.
The whole length, basically, and
No,
Up to the
No,
park?
it's not, it's to,
Pleasant Avenue, or?
no, I thought it,
It's okay, any part of that road that gets repaved is great.
think
That's all.
I
I'm
thought
saying.
it was
Pleasant.
to Midway,
Yeah, it's to
not
Pleasant.
to Midway?
Pleasant.
Well, that's before the park, and I think there is a section also on the other
On the other
side.
side of the park. So
Yeah.
it'll be,
It goes to
they're
Midway.
gonna stop at the park and then they're gonna jump on the other side for a block.
Okay, so.
But the second block, which is then from Midway to Tillotson, that's something that needs
So
attention. I mean,
That
that's
is-
pretty poor.
in a 2019 gas replacement project,
Right,
that's
so-
something we should look at
Yeah,
next year.
okay.
That's,
Because it's-
we're doing work there, so we don't wanna rip it up and
And do we have the areas that they're gonna come back in 2019?
I have the map, I could recirculate that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we should try to put some of this up, is it on the website? Yeah.
Some of it is, and then we have to update what's up there, though.
Right, so we should work, you should work with Councilman Krantz if you can, so that maybe on our Friday e-blast, we can sort of name streets and
Okay.
just, because people wonder. Okay. Anything else for Antonis? Okay, thank you. No special committee reports, well, we just gave that. Presentation of claims, Councilman Krantz?
Right. I have them, I know I have them.
That's okay.
It's right here. It's right here. Here it is. Thank you very much. I'm moving the payment of claims, move that claims in the amount of $2,034,969.50, having been listed on the bill list and recorded in the files of the Borough Hall and approved by the chairman of the appropriate committee, be paid.
Second.
Second, may everybody roll call, please?
Thanks, Ken.
Tom Cruise,
Yes.
Heather Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Jack Mullenhour,
Yes,
Kathy Mitchell. Oh, Kathy doesn't vote. Sorry.
she only gets one vote
I
tonight.
know, I know.
You want me to vote again?
No.
Oh.
This is not fully off. Sorry.
Okay, auditing by claims by resolution, none. May I open up the floor for the public portion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to call forward any members of the public that wish to come forward at this point. Seeing that there isn't anyone, may I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have no old business to discuss, and we will go into the consent agenda.
I'll move the 5 items on the consent agenda.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Under new business, Councilman Krantz.
Thank you, Mayor. I move Resolution 1807-131. This basically certifies that our borough is in compliance with federal civil rights requirements, Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. This is a requirement that we basically certify that we do our hiring in compliance with this as a condition of passing the bill.
Okay, may I have a second? May I have a roll call, please?
Tom Cruise,
Yes.
Kathy Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Jack Mullenhour.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, I introduce ordinance number 1810S and request the title to be read by the clerk.
Bond ordinance amendment bond ordinance number 1709S, finally adopted by Borough Council of the Borough of Fanwood, New Jersey, on May 1st, 2017.
And this basically, this changes, I believe, the amount of the grant, the federal grant for the Madison Avenue sidewalk project from what we had, 250,000 to 300,000. So, I move that ordinance number 1810S be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing here at Borough Hall, 7405 North Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on August 6th, 2018, at 7 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard.
Second.
Excuse me, it's August 1st.
Is that August 6th? It says August.
I know,
I don't know.
Where is this ordinance?
It is the 6th. Okay, it stands. So we have a second?
We have a second.
Second, I did.
I'm sorry.
It's a voicemail, it's a voice.
Yeah, I know, I actually was just looking for the ordinance. I'm sorry, okay, so we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, I introduce ordinance number 1811S and request the title to be read by the clerk.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 1601S, finally adopted by the Borough Council of the Borough of Fanwood, New Jersey, on March 7, 2016.
I move that ordinance number 1811S be adopted on first reading and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martina Avenue, Fanwood, on August
think this
6,
is backwards.
2018 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter if the matter can be heard.
Second.
I just have a question, Eleanor. Are these backwards? Ordinance 1810S, you're saying it's for Madison Avenue, but it's not. 1811S is Madison Avenue.
Yes, you're right, it's just the opposite. You want us to read it again?
I think so, because I think that we were not voting on what
Okay.
we were voting on, to be honest with you.
No, just redo it. It's fine.
Just read
Make
it.
it clean.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to move ordinance 1810S, which
Right.
is a amendment to ordinance 1709S, which is project costs, improvements towards North Avenue, Poplar, curbs and sidewalks. Correct?
Right.
Okay, and this ordinance was being amended tonight
Introduced for that.
for North Avenue.
That's right.
Okay, and
Oh,
to include, why is this being amended tonight?
They're changing the cost of the project.
For Poplar.
For Poplar, no, for North.
I mean, but it's
North
part of the, okay,
Well, it's a combined ordinance, so, but it's really for North Avenue that it's doing this.
this is for the increase of the cost of North Avenue?
no, decrease. As I understand
This is the first time I'm seeing.
Doesn't this just delineate this is the breakdown of who's paying for the,
I believe we had extra money in Poplar. Poplar is complete, and there was extra money
right.
available
it.
there.
So it's a decrease.
So
right?
there.
Okay, and it's actually listing out
That's
the various funds.
1810S, is that
Right.
Right,
Okay.
okay, so you need to do the first
Okay.
reading
so-
again.
Gotcha. So
Because
now
it's
I
for-
I introduce ordinance number 1810S again and request the title to be read by the clerk.
And by the way, it's the correct title. 1810S is for Poplar, which is correct. It's just listed wrong in the
It's
agenda.
listed wrong on the agenda.
That's all there.
Yeah. Okay, so 1810S is the bond ordinance, amending bond ordinance number 1709S, finally adopted by the Borough Council of the Borough of Fanwood, New Jersey on May 1st, 2017.
Okay, I move that ordinance number 1810S be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing here at Borough Hall, 75 North Martin Avenue, Fanwood, on August 6, 2018 at 7 p.m., or, excuse me, as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right, thank you.
And now we reintroduce ordinance number 1811S. Ask the clerk to please read the title of the ordinance.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 1601S, finally adopted by the Borough Council of the Borough of Fanwood, New Jersey on March 7, 2016.
I move ordinance 1811S be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advise the ordinance as required by law, and that second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martin Avenue, in Fanwood, on August 6, 2018, at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard.
Second.
And Mayor, this is a slight increase.
Okay. So we have we have a second. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, now moving on.
I introduced ordinance 1812S and ask the clerk to please read the title.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $135,000 for various capital improvements borne by the Borough of Fanwood in the County of Union, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $128,250 bonds or notes of the borough for financing part of the appropriation.
I move that ordinance number 1812S be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martin Avenue, Fanwood, on August 6, 2018, at 7 p.m. or sooner after the
Excuse me.
Second.
God bless you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Councilman Carter, you're up.
Thank you. I introduce ordinance number 18-13-R and request the title and text be read by the clerk.
An ordinance amending Chapter 280 Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the Borough of Fanwood relating to Article 14 or street parking.
I move that ordinance number 18-13-R be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martin Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on August 6th, 2018, at 7 o'clock p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Molinar, you have two resolutions tonight?
Yeah, I feel sad that I'm only doing resolutions, not ordinances like Tom gets to do, but it's okay. I'm going to move No, not really. That's okay. I'm going to move Resolution 1807-129. This is to award a contract to T&M Associates regarding design North Avenue paving Phase 2. You know, Phase 2 always is better than Phase 1.
I'm sorry.
The both excellent.
Okay, so I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Jack Molinar,
Yes.
Tom Cruise,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And I move Resolution 1807-130 to release a cash maintenance bond to Community Access since their project is done and the required maintenance period has expired and everything's fine.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Jack Molinar,
Yes.
Tom Cruise,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I just want to share that I guess late last week, the towns received notice from the Division of Local Government Services regarding increase in school aid to certain districts. With final action of the state's fiscal year 2019 budget, additional school aid is being made available to a significant number of school districts through New Jersey, and Scotch Plains Fanwood is one of them. And the revised school aid numbers have been released. The boards of eds are being permitted to reconsider their 2018-2019 budgets and may elect to reduce their property tax levies in an amount not to exceed the increase of the state aid. So district boards of education that are receiving the increases are being instructed to contact our chief municipal finance officer or our municipal tax collector to confirm whether or not the district seeks to apply additional aid towards reducing the school tax levy. So I believe that they have to submit that certification by this Friday, July 20th. Unless the municipality and the district agree to a later deadline.
Do they know that they will do that?
Well, that's my question I have. Have we heard from?
I called them, I'm waiting for them to call back.
So you, when did you?
What they're going to do.
Okay, so you reached out to the Board of Ed. Okay, so the nice thing about this budget is that there is millions of dollars worth of new state aid going out to the school districts. We are receiving an additional $396,059, which is a 12.37% increase over the funding that they had received prior to the budget being adopted. And I would think that the council would like to get an answer to the question of whether or not, because I would think we would want to encourage them to take that additional state aid of $396,000 and apply it to reducing the property tax levy, since property taxes are the #1 issue and continue to be, and we value our education here in Fanwood, but it makes up 60% of our property tax bills. So we look forward to hearing from the school board, hopefully in the next day or two, or if they're going to seek an extension, they have to come, I think, back to the municipality for that extension.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
If they decide not to do that, what else would they do with the money? Just apply it to their operating budget?
Yes.
We want them to do that.
Well, I think that we are in agreement that to receive close to $400,000 of additional state aid should go directly to reducing the property tax levy within the two municipalities.
Mayor, if I'm correct, the additional state aid that we got back in the spring,
That did not
that did not come.
Did not go.
It was not shared with the public.
towards, it didn't, right, that did not go towards
Right.
reducing.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll stay tuned because this is a very important piece for us here. At this point, I'd like to have a motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to call forward any members of the public that wish to speak to us at this point. Seeing that there isn't anyone that wishes to come forward, may I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there anything else that anyone would like to discuss before we go into comments? Councilman Krantz?
No.
You okay? There you go. Councilwoman?
Oh, yes. I have to comment on today's meeting between the current occupant of our White House and the despot of Russia. And we all know that he is a despot. So the thing that I can hopefully say is truth, is that Alaska still belongs to us. We don't know what went on in the 2 hours that they were alone, but at least in the press conference, he didn't give away Alaska. And my next comment is, do you remember in May when it was 40 and we all couldn't decide when to put in our tomato plants?
I love you, Kathy. I love you. Councilman Carter?
Yes. The systems have completed upgrade, and the report has arrived. Our monthly report from our Fanwood Police Department for the month of June 2018. Hot off the press. Total calls for police assistance through our CAD system, 1,008. Total calls for police assistance through 911 terminal, 22. Motor vehicle stops for various violations, 388. Total number of summonses issued, 423. They were motor vehicle moving violation summonses, 52. Non-moving violations, 277. Parking summonses, 94. Thankfully, no DWIs. Total adult arrest, arrest on warrants. 6, simple assaults. 1, disorderly person. 1, CDS. 2, hindering apprehension. 3, and fraud. 1. There were no juvenile arrests. The total number of crimes reported, 21. Thefts and larceny, there were 4. Fraud, 9. Harassment, 2. Simple assault, 1. And disorderly, 5. And that concludes our report for the month of June 2018. Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we close tonight's meeting?
Okay. From the New Providence Police Department, thanking, I'm going to sum and paraphrase, thanking our illustrious Chief Trigo for assisting the New Providence Police Department and their administration in conducting interviews of police candidate for the rank of sergeant. Right, so they go on to say, the professionalism displayed by Chief Trigo speaks to the quality of your agency and the high standards that you have achieved for your department and your officers. And once again, they thank Chief Trigo for his ongoing support and willingness to help out whenever called upon. And that's from Anthony Buscelli Jr., Chief of Police and Emergency Management Coordinator in New Providence. Thank you, Chief Trigo, and our department.
Very nice. Councilman Mulliner?
This weekend, I also was able to go to one of the movies Under the Stars, date night.
Did you do the date night?
I did the date night.
How was
and
it?
The movie was very good. Showman. It was nice weather out, even though it's always a nice breeze in LeGrand Park, so it was very pleasant. And whether they keep it up, I have no idea, because that's up to the Rec Commission, but it was a very nice event, and I enjoyed it. And that's about it, and have a nice rest of your summer.
Well, I think this is a wonderful time of the year in the summer where our Rec Commission does shine, whether it be through our day camp, through the movies in the park, the second year that we're doing the Couples Under the Stars movie. We want to thank them, and we want to thank our Volunteer of the Month for all that they do. And I just want to give another shout out to a really wonderful event that we had this past weekend, 2 weekends ago, with Fan Jam. We want to thank the Greater Westfield Area Chamber of Commerce, who really does partner with us here in Fanwood, and is a real support to our business communities, and puts forth an event that really helps spur a lot of interest in the town. So we want to hope that you're all enjoying the rest of your summer. We will see you back here in August, and with that, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.